Hello and welcome to West Country Wanderings. Welcome to the county of Wiltshire today. I'm in the beautiful Cotswold town of Malmesbury for a short pint photography series video. And our destination today is Malmesbury Abbey. Now, I've been to Malmesbury a couple of times before, done one of my railway series looking at the Malmesbury GWR branch line, and I've also done a Christmas special here as well as one just following along the River Avon. Now, Malmesbury is the town where the two arms of the River Avon meet, the Churchyard Wiltshire arm and the Tetbury Gloucestershire arm. They meet here, and this provided a source of power for the town. But the history of the town goes much back further than that. It was the source, or rather the site, of the first King of England, King Athelstan, way back. And there are large bits of evidence to suggest that this was indeed the very first town in England. So how you can join me heading over there to Malmesbury Abbey to be having a look at the history of this amazing place here in this wonderful town in Wiltshire. The hilltop above the river is naturally defended. Archaeological evidence suggests it was settled in prehistoric times. By the Iron Age, it was a walled fortress around 800 BC. It became known as the City of the Britons well before the Romans were here, and can claim to be England's oldest town. Amongst other first claims in the town, it was home to the first saint of Wessex, Aldhelm, and the first King of England, Athelstan, the first man to fly, Aldhelm, and the father of English philosophy, Hobbes. The present-day building is the fourth to stand on the site. The first was Aldhelm's earliest church. The present-day abbey dates some 1180 and was added to in the following 200 years with a great spire taller than Wiltshire's other great religious building, Salisbury Cathedral. It also had an impressive tower at the west end. In the late 15th century, before Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries, the great spire fell, followed by the tower 100 years later, and only the nave now remains. The entrance to the abbey features a breathtaking Norman porch, one of the finest examples in Western Europe. It was formerly painted in pinks, greens, yellows and reds. It is a pictorial representation of the Bible stories for people who could not read. Entering the abbey takes you through the story of the creation, the inner arch, the journey of the patriarchs and kings, that's the middle arch, and the birth, death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the outer arch. Over the centuries, the carvings here deteriorated, particularly during the Second English Civil War, because gunpowder was stored in the space, the parvis, above and leaked through, eroding the detail of the carvings. The nave is vast and soaring. The grotesques and dragons keep the Christian pilgrims on the straight and narrow path in the heart of this wonderful church and abbey. There is an upper gallery of smaller arches which was accessible to the monks only. After the great spire above the abbey collapsed around the end of the 15th century, the vast wall beyond the altar at the far east end of the nave was built to close off the large nave. It then became Malmesbury's parish church in the 1540s. The abbey originally continued on for another 116 feet with a wide north-south transept. In the 13th century, the watching loft above the south side was constructed. A daily flow of pilgrims from all over Britain and beyond would have filed into the abbey to be close to the holy relics the monks possessed. There are many theories for the origins and the purposes of the viewing loft, but it was possibly a security viewing area to watch over the pilgrims as they reached the monks' relics. In the north aisle of the abbey stands the tomb of King Athelstan, A grandson of King Alfred of Wessex, he was himself crowned King of Wessex in 925. A great military and political leader, he expanded his kingdom by winning battles, marrying off his half-sister and striking deals. By 927 he united and created the Kingdom of all of England. 10 years later he combined England and Welsh forces in a decisive victory over the Scottish, the Danes, the Norse and the Irish at the Battle of Brunanburh. His coronation gospels and coins were inscribed with the words, "Ruler of the whole of Britain." King Athelstan was a devout man, treasured the Christian relics in the Abbey. He died in the city of Gloucester in 939. He was brought back to be buried here at Malmesbury Abbey. At the end of the South Aisle is St Aldhelm's Chapel, a place of quiet contemplation. St Aldhelm was the Abbey's most important religious figure, who was the first abbot here in the Abbey in 676. He was later the Bishop of Sherborne in Dorset and revered as a saint. He died in 709, but during his lifetime he was a poet, a traveller, a writer, a theologian, and a musician who could often be seen playing on the bridges crossing over the River Avon in the town. Malmesbury Abbey houses some beautiful stained glass windows, including a classic designed by Burne-Jones and made at the famous William Morris workshops in 1901. It is known as the Loose Window. Outside are some interesting aspects, including a stone coffin from the 14th century. Nearby is the gravestone of Hannah Twinoy, who was a barmaid in Malmesbury and was killed by a tiger here in Malmesbury in 1703. The tiger was part of a travelling menagerie, which were popular in the 18th century, and the troupe was staying at the inn she worked in. Well, that's it for today on this short bite photography series video from the town of Malmesbury in Wiltshire. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Malmesbury Abbey with the photographs and a little bit of narration there to give you a little bit of the historical background to the beautiful Abbey. Hope to see you next time on the channel. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves. Hope to see you soon. All the best for now. Cheers, goodbye.